this book really has some brilliant games, and the interesting fact is they are all top player games. Like we see Timman winning against Korchnoi, then Timman getting smashed by another player. It's incredible. It's a kind of slaughterhouse in this game. I cannot imagine if it was very harsh on them, because after all they are professional, and so it's part of a professional life that probably you have to lose at some point. But we are speaking of players in the top 10, so clearly very, very hard to think they lose in 25 moves. So I just show you a game in which Korchnoi lost, and now I show you a game in which Korchnoi win. This was played between Haag and Korchnoi in Switzerland, 1978. Haag starts the game with knight f3, e6, g3, and d5, bishop g2, c5. So Korchnoi is getting the center. Obviously at a certain point white will have to challenge it. Castle, knight c6, and now you can see finally that it goes to challenge the center with c4. And here Korchnoi plays this, and this is strange, obviously, a very strange move, right? How did it continue? With queen a4. Here this queen a4 doesn't make much sense. Again, the opening, you need to take out your pieces. Obviously maybe this is not right, but this surely is right, because it's a way to get it back if you really want to get it back. Okay, so queen a4, I don't like it. Bishop d7 makes sense, because it's immediately asking the queen a4 what is doing. The queen a4 moves again. So we have 2 moves wasted. And here we see black that goes to play rook c8, right? So this is a kind of X-ray attack at a certain point. Knight c3. And here it follows with knight f6. So both of them are kind of developing well. Here white plays d4. You must know that from knight f3 with that c4 you could have thought it was a reti opening, but with this d4 now is probably a Catalan. Okay, so this is the thing. How does black continue? Black attack on the side with b5. Very interesting move. Why? Because if you take with the queen, obviously knight takes d4 attacks the queen twice, right? So you have to do something here. What do you have to do as white? Obviously I don't think he can play this. Knight takes b5. It's not correct either. So he played queen d3. Here probably black should go in c4, but in reality it played c takes d4. Very strange. Okay, knight takes d4, and this is good. But you see, luckily black put the rook on c8, right? So that diagonal, yes, good, but is not really a problem for black at the moment. At the moment it's not. So how does black continue here? Knight e5 attacking the queen. And now look, queen d1. So imagine how many tempi were lost. So if this miniature book has an instructive value, it's teaching you about tempo. 1, right? 2, 3, 4, terrible, right? 4 tempi in the opening by move 12. which means that 30% of the moves were used by the queen. Queen b6. And here white played bishop g5, and the comment was too slow. A few years later, in Ribli-Unziker in Olympiad, white played a4. Okay, it was between Ribli and Unziker. So if you want to watch that game, you're free. For what regard here, let's move on. After that, obviously, there is bishop e7, rook c1, and castle. Okay, so at this point, the position is more or less equal, and black has finished his development. That's all we can say. We have pieces in the center, both have the bishop pair, and honestly, yes, white wasted a lot of tempi, but the pawn structure is symmetrical, so I don't know. I don't see anything crazy here. It means that something else happened later. Okay, knight f3, knight takes f3, bishop takes f3, and now there is rook f d8. The centralization of the rooks is something we learn in middle games manuals. What did white played? Obviously, white played a natural move, queen b3, but here it's marked with dubious, because they say it should have been better to play knight e4, and then followed eventually by queen e1, but not queen b3. Okay, difficult to say, honestly. b4, and here there is a mistake, knight e4. Well, why it's a mistake? You need to decide what would you play as black and why. So you need to actually calculate here. You cannot just think I find a move and that's the correct one, because it doesn't work like that. So I hope you pause the video and now we can restart. The right move is knight takes e4. Why? Because after this, bishop takes e7, there is rook takes e1, rook takes e1, and guess what happened now? Boom! Queen takes f2. Now, notice that white is still attacking this and this at the same time, so it's obviously scary, but rook c8. And what did white play? Here it played this move. And you say, why it didn't play this? Well, you must remember that there is a thing called checkmate, okay? So that's why I tell you often you need to start to study the game, not from the end game, not from the opening, not from the middle game. You need to start to study the game, the chess, from the checkmate. So you need to do a lot of checkmate pattern, so some things become evident to you, clear like the light, right? Now, why he didn't play this move? Because this I think could be interesting, right? This rook d1. I think could be interesting, but is not the right move. And let me show you why. Knight d2. Again, remember, this rook cannot actually move because there is a checkmate here. So you must be careful. Here there is a line that is more complicated than that, okay? So buy the book too, and you will enjoy all the author annotation. I'm not gonna do all the analysis for you, because I think I show you the key move and then you can follow up by yourself. Since we are all adults, we want to improve in chess, you want to improve, you need to do some analysis. In the game, Queen d1 was followed by Rook takes c1, Queen takes c1, and Bishop c6. Again, I don't know if you understood. Again, this queen cannot leave to take here because checkmate. Okay, so that's continuously the problem you are having here over and over and over. Okay, you will never guess what is the best defense at this point. It seems that is Queen a1, but again, do your own analysis. In the game, it was played Bishop takes b4, okay, and at this point, the game is over. Why the game is over, you say? Try to find the next move by black. Queen e2, boom. Okay, so why this is the winning move? I hope you paused the video and found it out, but after this, what would you play? Obviously you play this, that is a double check, and when it goes here, there is another check, right? At this point, when he also moves here, this is an endgame that every probably 1500 rated player can win, right? And so that's why White resign. I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you will do your homework and eventually watch the video again if there are parts you don't understand, and do your own analysis. Thank you very much for watching.